Getting us on time. All right, thank you. If you're ready, we're going to go ahead and call our open session to order. So calling us to order at 5:13 p.m. Looking to see if we have any public comment for our closed session items only. I don't think there's getting us on time. All right, thank you. If you're ready, we're going to go ahead and call our open session. I'm playing back to myself. That's awesome.
Ventriloquist. Wow.
5:13.
Audition for AGT.
So there's no one here in public, in person to make public comment. We do not have any public comment emails. These are directly pertaining only to closed session items. So next we're ready for our roll call, please. Okay, Trustee Dickinson.
Present.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Here.
Trustee Donnelly.
Present.
Trustee Edmondson. Present. Trustee Jackson Miller. Here. Thank you very much. Now we'll convene into closed session. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
George, I am going to mirror my screen when that option is available.
An email.
Are we at recess now?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
On time. All right. Thank you. If you're ready, we're going to everyone. Thank you for coming to our board meeting. I know we have some other folks outside. We want to make sure we had room for our families here who we are celebrating. I'm going to go ahead and call our open session to order. And I just as a little technical note, we have one board member who's present on Zoom just from the other office, but we all are here. So we're going to go ahead and call our open session to order at 6:41 p.m. And it's always our pleasure to begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance led by a student. And so Principal Witter, would you mind introducing your student?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for having us.
Yeah.
So our SoCal L student leader is Shay Rasmussen. And Shay is actually somewhat new to us. So she's from SoCal. And then she came to us last year and so is with us this year as a fifth grader, but it's been a great addition. We think a great representative for our school. And so we have Shay.
Please stand. Place your hand on your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic of which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you like to read our mission statement?
Yeah.
Thank you.
SoCal Union Elementary SoCal School District Mission Statement. Staff, students, parents, and the community help ensure that each child develops the skill and character necessary for lifelong achievement and responsible citizenship in a diverse world.
Excellent. Thank you, Shay. It really helps us so much to start our meetings off by doing the pledge and then hearing about our mission statement, right? Making sure that we're really mindful of the work that we do here. We have a certificate of recognition. Thank you for being here. It's got some nice words about you. Is it okay if I read it out loud and then give it to you? Yeah. All right. So the SoCal Union School District Board of Trustees recognizes Shay Rasmussen, fifth grade student from SoCal Elementary. Shay is a strong leader who shines both academically and socially. She exhibits strong skills in math, reading, and writing, and always displays a positive attitude when engaging in instruction, completing assignments, and collaborating with others. Shay consistently models the Cougar way, both in and out of the classroom, and is an active member of student leadership. She is kind, considerate, and empathetic with her peers, and is also inclusive and respectful to every person she meets. In addition to her successes academically and socially, Shay is an avid softball player, which I would maybe guess. Yeah. She plays recreationally and this summer will play on our traveling team. She also has a passion for flying and has expressed interest in joining the 99s organization one day.
Oh, yeah.
So it's our pleasure to have you here. I'd love to give you your certificate. And then I know there are a lot of people here. If it's okay with you, usually we ask some friendly questions just about you and your interests. Is that okay? Fantastic. And then we can do a handshake, we can do a bump, or just like, yeah. Boom. There we go. I don't know what to do anymore. My apologies. Shay, we have a little gift if you're interested. We have some notebooks, just some little treats if you would like to pick a notebook for yourself. If you have any siblings at home you want to pick one for, that's absolutely fine. And then you're welcome. Thank you again for being here. Team, do you have any questions for Shay?
I like to hear about flying, and it's really nice to meet you too.
Yes.
Great, and that's a plan of yours, huh? A dream? Have you done anything with that?
I have a few books about flying,
Mhm.
like all like the stuff you like really need to know to go to flight school, but I haven't learned that much about it yet.
That's a start.
You should look at the Watsonville Airport. They
Yeah.
have a program for you. You're familiar with that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Nice. Good connection. Any other questions? I'm
Have you-
sure we do.
Have you been out to plane?
Yeah.
So when they do the air show out there, the old guys give people rides. Yeah, free. So but here's, yeah. So my question, baseball, what position?
First.
Oh, okay, right. So the stretch, huh?
Gosh, it was a great warm up. I got a ton, but I mean, I've taken flying lessons. You're gonna love it. Just warm. Gets a little chilly up there in a Cessna or something. What's your favorite team? Do you have a favorite baseball team?
I like the Angels.
All right. Yeah.
That Otani
I
goes.
grew up with the Angels.
Yeah.
There you go.
I have a question and then I'll see if my team member on Zoom has a question too, but my question is there anything you're excited about moving on to middle school after
I'm
fifth grade?
excited because I heard about the wheel and like the music.
Yeah,
Yeah, so excited about that.
yeah. So you're interested in playing music or, yeah, I think we've got great bands in middle school, so that's exciting.
Play music now.
I mean, I've learned a little bit of recorder at SoCal.
Okay.
So,
Start.
so right now at UC and at Cabrillo, the music students are putting on their live performances. So you can go and for pretty much free and see all these combos,
Mhm.
different jazz and
Mhm.
vocals and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And Shay, we have a wonderful softball.
Yeah, there you
Lots of good connections to it.
Yeah.
Callie, did you have anything to ask? Or, if you feel free to wave if I don't see you there.
Thanks for coming, Shay. I was just wondering, what's one of your favorite things about playing baseball or softball?
My favorite things like about playing it is that I get to do it with all my friends and that like I love hitting the ball and like running.
Sounds awesome.
You have just as much fun with reading and math.
It's all math. Music. It's all math, yeah.
It is.
All right, I think we've questioned you enough, but it's been awesome getting to know you. We really appreciate you being here. It's not always easy coming up and speaking in public. We got other people here, but everyone's really proud of you and excited to have you here. So thank you, Shay. One more round of applause. Of course. And if we take a picture, if it's okay, you have a parent here, is that okay to, if we take a picture with you, is that okay? Yeah, is that okay? If your principal and your teachers. You can take right here, so if you want to be in the picture.
Yep, we'll get your. Okay, yep, perfect. Everybody smile. And one more, and everybody look that way now.
Yeah. Impressive. Thank you. Congratulations. Really great to meet you. All right, we're lucky because we have a lot more student recognitions tonight. So we got a little bit of technical business before we get to that. Item 3B is the adoption of the agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make.
Great.
Second,
All right, motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. 3C, report out of closed session. The board met in closed session and we don't have anything to report. Next is the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve and adopt the consent agenda?
move.
Callie made a wonderful.
Any comments on the consent agenda before we vote? Okay, so we have a motion and a second, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, now we're back to recognitions. So item 5A is the recognition of our Santa Cruz County Math Contest participants. And I'm happy to present awards and read the names of our students. Do we have any of our Santa Cruz County Math Contest participants here tonight?
Doesn't.
No? Okay. Well,
Way to go.
wait,
Yeah.
they probably were busy doing a lot of other end of the year items.
Do we
So
read their names?
absolutely, we can read their names and we're going to make sure their certificates get to them and their names are going to be in our minutes. So the students being recognized for participation in the 2023 County Math Contest are Jack Flanagan, Waleed Moslimani, Xander Brown, Johnny Mayo, Ruby Denovan, Olivia Potes. Olivia here? Yeah. Olivia. Yeah.
Just a fan.
Russell Riddick. Yeah. Kai, and forgive me if I get the name wrong, Kai Deselli, yeah. Sebastian Yukba.
Wow.
I think I'm getting to the right, yeah. Parker McMullen, Killian Kesting, Elijah Kessler, Darian Battelle. So I recognize the elementary names, the middle school names.
If I can't, I believe they came in second too, which was super unbelievably impressive amongst the competition that you
Yeah.
had for this.
I on
No.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah. All right. Our next recognition is recognizing our 2023 National History Bee participant. So. All right, yeah. This is for CJ. CJ, remind me how I say your last name. Stikula. Stikula? Thank you. So we're recognizing CJ for participating in the 2023 National History Bee. CJ, would you like to come on up? Good to see you again. Are you into like handshakes, elbow bumps, or no? None of that. Awesome. That's why I asked. Consent is important. CJ, would you like a notebook for yourself, one for your brother, anyone else in your family who might need a little something?
Take a photo.
Yeah, and then is it okay if we ask you some questions about the history bee?
Yeah.
Okay, well, would you mind just letting us know a little bit about what it was like?
It was basically, it was real, I thought, going into it, I thought it was like, oh, it was stressful, then I just calmed down and focused on the questions.
Mhm.
I almost got a purpose scope, and I almost got a purpose scope.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I noticed you're the only student from our district who's getting one tonight. That's pretty awesome. Not any questions. I know these guys like
history, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Four rounds and you won 3 of them.
Wow.
Wow. No comment, this is in Missouri,
Uh-huh.
this is for Missouri technically.
Okay. Did you go to Missouri?
Yeah,
Wow. How was that? Were there a lot of kids there?
no, there was just like, 4, there's, oh, pretty sure.
Uh-huh. That's incredible. It sounds like you did a really impressive job. Do you think you'd do it again or something else like it?
Yeah, I can get new one.
Nice, nice. Good job.
Yeah, you do great.
Yeah.
So, are you a reader? Do you read a lot?
No, not really.
So how do you learn about history?
I watch YouTube videos.
Okay, and so the topic probably would be the history of the Bears.
I think this family might
Yeah.
know about the history of the Bears, right? Yeah.
16 is pretty simple.
The origin story. It's an origin story there.
So we have a Central Coast professor that's on Jeopardy right now, who's doing pretty well. So if he ever gets off, we know who to call to take his place.
It looks like Miss Lowe might have a question or a comment for us.
What's your comment?
Yeah.
I would just like to say, and for the board and superintendents, all people. CJ, I've been lucky enough to teach CJ 2 years in a row for social studies and science, and CJ's been passionate about history for the last 2 years and has actually sought out an opportunity to compete and to get to know and to try to, and we hadn't had anything in the school. And so the fact that your family kind of looked and found and that you're able to represent us and inspire our school. And I mean, it's such a cool thing that not only do we have social studies and history taught, but that you brought such fire and inspiration to the class and now to our whole district and our community. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, thank you for helping me and supporting me. And here's a weird question. Why is history called social studies?
You asked me that.
Because it's the story of society.
Yeah.
I know, but why don't we call it history in elementary school, but,
Yeah.
and then it becomes humanities and then
Right.
history in high school. I didn't know.
Yeah.
We'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And if Miss Lowe doesn't know.
That's a question.
It's a great question. Well, CJ, we have loved talking with you. I don't know if any other members of the board have any questions for CJ or?
Okay, any questions?
Yeah.
Period time in history that you like.
I think it's the classical age. This was like the Roman Empire period.
Okay,
Okay.
that's impressive.
Does that interest in history make you want to go visit some of the places you've studied?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah, what a great way to learn about the world. We could go on. I know, we could go on and on. Do you have any questions for us?
No.
You're good? Okay, it's been really nice talking to you and we really celebrate your accomplishments, CJ.
Yeah.
This is a
Yes.
big deal. I love hearing that you sought out this opportunity.
Wait, has anyone ever done this though?
Oh, no.
Not that we So you're the first and you're probably inspiring other people.
You made history.
Which is awesome. You made history. Yeah. All right. Thank you. And you got a good, you got something from here if you wanted it? Yep, you're good.
Picture.
Awesome. Is it okay? Picture's okay? Yeah. And then.
All right, Robert, a little bit closer to Ted. Oh, there we go, now Stacy Phil. All right, and Alana, a little, there you go. All right, everybody smile. I feel like a cinematographer. And one more. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. All right. So you are welcome to stay here and watch more of our meeting. You're absolutely invited. If you need to leave and would like to leave, please don't feel like you need to stay. Okay, you're welcome to leave whenever you're ready, just so you know. These meetings. Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you guys. Thanks for coming out. Thank you for the inspiration.
CJ, really nice meeting.
Yeah.
And replay the video.
Yeah.
You're
You
on.
want to send you
Does this
the
one say go Bears?
Also, I would kind of, I would kind of like to make history views to inspire others to. do it.
Yeah.
Yes,
You inspired me.
absolutely. Thank you. CJ. We will remember.
Great. job.
Yes. Oh, okay. Can't quite top that, but we have a really important recognition. Our next, and then public communications is after our next recognition item. So next item is recognition of Craig Broadhurst as the County Office of Education Administrator of the Year.
As many of you know, Mr. Broadhurst has been with us since the decade of the 80s and doing just about everything everywhere in our district that supports students and staff. Starting as a teacher at Santa Cruz Gardens in 1988, if memory serves, supporting students at all of our schools. Most recently this year, he stepped up, pulled him away from retirement for a year. And he served as an outstanding bridge principal at Santa Cruz Gardens. Really allowed us to get our timing right and being able to identify the next long-term principal there. So again, serving students and staff there. For the 10 years prior to that, the principal at New Brighton Middle School. And I could go on and on about Craig, and we will also go on and on about Craig tomorrow at the County Office of Education when he receives his formal award. But I'm just going to speak from the heart for regarding Craig for now and say that when I came to the district, it became so apparent that the word student-centered lip service for him. He would regularly call students by name. And if he didn't know their name, he would take the extra step to call them over, ask what's your name. He would try to do some kind of little memory device trick to help him remember it the next time. And I was like, okay, this is somebody who's been in the game a long time, who still has his priorities right. The last thing I'll say is I always remember him talking about a teacher, Joanne Roster, who won Teacher of the Year for our county, which was awesome. And he always just say about her something that to me resonates about him, and is that she had the experience and the skill of a veteran, but the attitude and love for students of a brand new teacher. And I'd say the same thing about Craig. He still has that same, I didn't know him in 1988, but I bet he still has that same infectious spirit for students then. And I know that he has it now. So Craig, I invite you to come up and introduce whoever you have with you there. It looks like you have your daughter, and come on up and say a picture.
Is it okay if I say a few words?
Please.
Of course.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry we don't have a certificate with. I want to hear you, please.
Yeah, and I'm just wearing a mask because I have a cold, not COVID, but I have a cold. So nobody else gets the cold. But I did want to say a few words, and I'll be brief. But yes, in May 1988, I walked into the district office for the first time, because those were the days when you either mailed your application for a job in or you hand delivered it. And so I dropped off my application in May 1988, and 35 years later, here I am. And in between that time, I have taught at Santa Cruz Gardens. I've taught at New Brighton Middle School, and I taught at Soquel Elementary. I've also had admin experience at Soquel, MBMS, Main Street, and now Santa Cruz Gardens. And when I was a youngster, and it's still to this day, I don't know where it came from, but I always put teachers on a pedestal. I remember thinking they're special people. And I think that's why I got into education. And I can honestly say I'm very proud to have been an educator for the last 35 years. And as I reflect, I'm honored to have served all the wonderful students and families in this unique community that we call SUESD. It's an honor to be recognized, and I'd like to thank the board and the district office administration and all the colleagues that I've had throughout the years for the support that's been given to me. And I want to give a special thanks to Scott Turnbull, because he is the best superintendent that I have worked with. And I don't just say that, it's been a pleasure working with you, Scott, and under your leadership. Very collaborative, so supportive, and a great leader. I also want to recognize SUESD, because this has been my home. I grew up in England. It's been my home, my community for the last 35 years. And SUESD provided me with a community where I feel like I belong. It's provided me with the clothes on my back, the food on my table, the roof over my head. It's also educated my daughter, Milan, who's with me here tonight. She spent 9 wonderful years, kindergarten through 8th grade, helped build a foundation that she is moving forward on. And I'm very proud to say that I've worked in this district and my daughter has benefited as a student in this district. And SUESD has helped me develop the skills that led to this award. I think most of us in education are quite humble, and we don't get into it for recognition or for finances. But I'm grateful to have been a part of SUESD all these years, and I'm very thankful to all that SUESD has provided to me. And, you know, this district will go on long after we have gone. It was here before us, and it's done wonderful things for me, my daughter, and it'll continue to do wonderful things for students and families. And I'm just very, very proud to be part of this district, and very proud to be an honor to be recognized. And thank you for all the support that you've shown to me during the years I've been here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I know. If you'd like to go, you can, but we might have some comments, if that's all right. Yeah.
So Craig, I've been here for a little while, and I will tell you, you will be missed.
Thank you.
You will be missed.
I thought you'd come in Elvis and skate, roller skates. Are
Yeah.
you gonna resurrect that out?
One future board meeting.
There we go. So, you know, the kids love you. You had their respect and their attention.
Yeah, Craig, I'll say I've been through a couple kids with you and they thought the world of you. I do too. You are a great addition to this school district, and you led that school with respect and dignity and professionalism the whole time. And I really appreciate everything you did for us. Yeah, you're gonna be missed.
Yeah, I would say the same, and I absolutely have seen what Scott had mentioned. You know everyone's name, the kids know you, the kids come up to you, they give the high fives, the fist bumps. You are someone who is an incredibly present administrator who's out there with the kids and connecting with the families, and obviously working beautifully with the DO team. So we're really going to miss you, but wish you the best in your retirement. And I hope you have wonderful plans that you're formulating for how you're going to enjoy your time. It's very well deserved.
Thank you. It's not quite sunk in yet because there's a lot to happen between now and
Sure.
yeah, end of school.
Yeah, that's true.
People ask me, "Are you excited?" I say, "Well, it's kind of like going on vacation. When I'm sitting in the plane, and you're taxing to take off."
Right.
There's a lot to do that for me.
Absolutely understood.
So,
Yeah.
I will enjoy.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Any other comments
Fun
for
travel.
our wonderful sponsors for the team? You good? Yeah. Thank you again in recognition of your amazing career with our district. We're
I'd love to
so appreciative.
have an 8 o'clock appointment.
Thank you. And Thank you, Milan, for
Yeah,
being
nice to
here
see
as
you.
well. It's great to have you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thanks, thank you.
Thank you. Huh?
Public comment
Oh,
on this
Oh, I'm so
item.
sorry. Do we have a, we don't, we have a public comment on the recognition item?
Wait,
Mr.
wait,
Rogers?
Mr. Rogers. Oh,
Oh, we can't leave yet.
no, not yet. We have an email.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We do. We have an email real quick. Thank you, Craig, for all your years of service. Santa Cruz Gardens truly appreciates you stepping in this year. The Home and School Club would like to thank you for the support and collaboration. You've been a wonderful principal and you will be missed. Laura Newman.
Thank
you.
Thank you. Starting there in 1988 and coming back there in 2023. Something poetic about
Very
that.
Yes.
Very. All right. No other emails. Thank you. I wasn't expecting it on recognition, but of course. So thank you. Thank you so much. Have a good night. All right. I know we've got, yeah. So I see we have a number of folks here for public communications, and I'm going to read out the guidance on public communications. And then I know there are some speaker cards that are going to come my way. People can make public communications by sending an email if you're watching on Zoom. And also we've got a number of folks here in person in the audience. So I'm going to read the blurb that's on our agenda. Members of the audience are welcome to address the Board of Trustees during public communications regarding items that are not listed on this agenda. For items not on the agenda, we request that you fill out one of the forms available at the sign-in register, the white forms, and submit it to the executive assistant to the superintendent at the end of the table here prior to the opening of the meeting. 3 minutes may be allotted to each speaker and a maximum of 20 minutes to each subject matter. So we do ask that people group together by subject matter. If the subject matter isn't written on the card, then we ask that you kind of line up if you're here to address a specific subject matter, because we do have a 20-minute limit on each subject matter that's not on the board agenda. The trustees cannot take action on these matters unless such matters are placed on a future agenda according to law. If the item you want to speak on is on the agenda, you'll have the opportunity to speak at the time the agenda item is discussed. Please address the board president, that's me, hi. These proceedings are video recorded, and board members shall hold the education of students above any partisan principle, group interest, or personal interest, and those are from our board bylaws. So welcome, everyone. I'll go ahead and take the speaker cards. And after we go through a subject, I'll also ask if we have any related emails for those who are monitoring our emails for us. Okay. I'm just gonna take a moment and see if things need to be grouped together. Okay. So I think we have some folks here to talk about Pride Flag. So our first speaker, which I believe is on that issue, is Sandra Wallace. Is that what your comment was on? Or did I misunderstand?
The last meeting's agenda item on the flag, pride flag.
Yes, all right. So we're going to start the 20 minutes on that topic,
Okay.
please.
Okay, well, first of all, it was delightful to make it in time to see Craig, and I'm sorry I missed the student because it sure looked like it was a lot of fun. I'm here tonight to talk about an agenda item at the last meeting regarding flying the pride flag at our schools. There were some comments made which I found deeply disturbing. Mainly, these comments were centered around elementary and middle school children being too young to be exposed to the pride or rainbow flag. The words sexualizing and labels were used a number of times. In my opinion, the rainbow flag does not sexualize anyone. It merely makes a statement that all are welcome and all are safe, students and staff. And labels, that made me laugh because labels are used all of the time. So-and-so is smart, athletic, cute, sweet, easygoing, grumpy, tall, short, on and on. Flying a flag doesn't label anyone. I attended the Career Youth Leadership Awards evening on Saturday. along with many of our Soquel district personnel, people from other school districts, and dignitaries from the state and local areas. We were privileged to hear the award winners' heartfelt speeches and also heard from each of the nominees via video. We learned that a number of these students knew in elementary school that they were different. They didn't know who to trust. Some were new to their school and had difficulty making friends. They said it affected their learning. All of those who spoke found allies in their school, either among students, in clubs, or with teachers and administrators. They were definitely not too young to discover that they could feel safe and valued, so they could then concentrate on learning. Thank you for letting me speak. I hope this board continues the long-standing commitment in this district of having no agenda other than serving all students and staff members equally. And to end, I want to thank everybody who volunteered at the Quila event. It was a great evening, and they couldn't have done it without all of you who served food and helped out in so many ways. It was fun seeing you all look so official in your white aprons, and I didn't have one. I was sorry that I didn't get to have one. And I also wanted to say congratulations to Craig and to Jackie Gomez, both for being recognized by COE and AXA. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, our next speaker is Rob Stewart. I would have an extra pen, mine is not working.
Give me a few seconds here. I just want to put my notes up. First of all, thank you for allowing this public forum to speak on this divisive topic. I would just like to say, why are we celebrating sex with these minor children? Why are we even discussing any kind of sex? Why are we making statements about sex with young minds? And I feel like it's not about inclusionary, but it's indoctrination. But it's also sexualization of minor children. It doesn't matter that it's LGBTQ, objectively speaking. Is the board's position that sex should be encouraged? I just ask you to take a pause and consider this before you start flying the flag. Thank you for the time.
Next up is TJ Welch.
Good evening. Thank you for letting us speak, and we welcome this opportunity. And you know, there's a lot of people here, I think, that have a same purview, and I know we got a short period of time, maybe contrary to what Ms. Wallace has to say here, but actually the flag does serve a purpose. Otherwise, it wouldn't be flying in your schools. And I think that purpose can be divisive. And I think not only do I know the perspective is it's inclusive, but I think it can be exclusive and make some people feel different than others when you're trying to include everybody. So maybe it's best that we just keep the United States flag flying and not worry about special groups with there, and let kids be kids, and let the parents indoctrinate our kids on those things about life matters other than their education on math, history, science, things we'd like to see them strive in. I thank you for what you do. Thank you for your time. And thank you.
Oh, thank you. Next is Diane, and pardon me if I say any name wrong, Diane Jolisant.
Well, I don't know.
May I defer to Brandon? Is that okay?
Did you fill out a form?
I'm sorry, let me find it, Brandon. Gotta keep my ducks in a row. There we go. Oh, okay. So we do have a few where folks didn't write the issue. So if it's that issue, and may I just ask, Gail Huff, is this also the issue you want to speak on? Got it. April Laird, is this also the issue you want to speak on? Okay.
And Richard Laird.
And Richard, yes, Richard, you did write. You wrote that, so I've got you. All right, so we are moving to Brandon.
Thanks for letting me speak. My daughter was raised in this county, in the county schools. I'm a friend of the county. I'm a pastor. I'm a father. I really believe that this is an important issue that we need to address and have communication over. The church is a friend of this county. When the fires happened, 4 of the 5 largest resources that were evacuation sites were churches. So it's important to recognize that there are people that have differences of opinion on some of these subjects. And I think it's important to say that, listen, this flag means something to certain people. So what I'm asking you guys to do is let's raise only the flags that unite us. We're all Americans, we're all Californians, we can all agree with that. But this one divides us. And if you want to have an example of a division, in 2008, when America voted in its first Black president, it also voted for marriage between a man and woman. Overwhelmingly, over 50% voted for that. So you're taking something that's divisive and you're putting it up on a flagpole. And I think that's not, it's wildly inappropriate to do that. And especially to project it over minors who are in the process of decide, how many of us when we were growing up didn't also feel like, oh yes, I feel weird in my own skin. I'm not sure how I think. Well, this says this is a path that you should take because it's on a flagpole over all the kids. It's projecting a worldview that we don't all agree upon. So let's put up the things that we unite upon, which is we're all Americans, we're all Californians. We can unite around those issues, but let's don't put something up there that's wildly inappropriate and it's divisive for us. I'm asking you, my daughter was raised in this county, been working with a lot of families in this county. There's a lot of people, I would say probably more than, how many people agree with this? Okay, so let's have a conversation before these things are being made. Apparently it happened actually during COVID when parents weren't as engaged and kids weren't on school at school grounds. So we didn't actually have a really good debate about this and say, hey, let's, and so it just happened. It's just happening all over. And I went to the school board for my daughter and the school board was like, they didn't even have a discussion about it. They like decided to do it. And the superintendent said, well, all the schools have agreed to do this. Wait, my daughter goes to the school. I didn't agree to it. Who agreed to it? All the counties are going like this because they don't want to be stomped on by somebody who says, like, oh, well, maybe I don't agree. Can we have a discussion? And you get stomped on if you don't have the exact same opinion, which is not the American way. We should be able to love each other and have a difference of opinion. Thank you for listening to me.
All right, Gail Huff.
Good evening. Can you hear me? Okay, can we turn this way?
We can hear you.
Good. Yes, thank you for listening to our concerns. I am here to support Mr. Robert Dickinson and his request not to fly that gay pride flag at the elementary and high school and his district. We agree with him that our children should not be concerned with wondering if they are gay, yet they should be here and concerned whether they're getting an academic instruction or that will prepare them for their future. And so I'm asking you not to fly that gay pride flag. Thank you.
Next is April Laird.
Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to come and speak about this. I'm a mom. I'm old enough to be a grandma for children that would be in elementary and middle school. So it's in my heart to come and share my feelings about this and my thoughts. And I'd just like to say that I think we've lost our way a little bit. I think we are focusing on things that shouldn't be focused on when it comes to school. And I think the jobs of the teachers and the administration is to focus on the education of children and to stay out of the bedroom. It's not time. They're not 21. They can make their own choices. And this is not something I don't love people. I do. And I have gay friends and gay family members who I love deeply. So don't get me wrong. Okay. I'm just saying, I just don't think it's appropriate on a school ground. Thank you.
Thank you, April. And our last in-person speaker on this topic is Richard Laird. Hello.
Hello, board. Nice to see everyone. I just, first off, I just say, thank you for doing what you do. You're here because you love kids and students, and we want to improve the overall education and outcomes of these students. That's where I'm coming from. The word diversity means a lot of things. It means that we all kind of come together with different ideas, beliefs, backgrounds, values. But the power of diversity is its ability to say, it's okay to have that opinion. Let's work together and find a common way to come about it. So I find it disturbing for someone to get up here and put a board member on the spot because they have a certain belief. To me, that's a hypocrite. Someone says, yeah, I believe in diversity, but this person over here said something that kind of offended me. So let's just put that all aside. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's about the students. So why can't we put the real focus on the students? Education, math, English, history, study, all those steps. Last time I checked, California state testing is in the bottom 5 of the country. Why is that? Where is our focus? How have we lost our way? Right? Why are we last? Why are we asking these questions? Why are our test scores so poor? Where is our focus?
Right.
Where is it? It's on equity, social justice, all those kinds of things. Instead of, wait a minute, our math scores are low. Wait a minute, our English scores are low. Wait a minute, our math scores are low. We're the lowest in the nation. And yet we spend the most money per student in the country. So I ask those questions to you as the board is, are you asking yourselves those questions? And why are we not posting test scores? Why are we not posting test scores in this district and doing comparisons? Why are you not going to other states who have very high test scores and saying, hey, what are you doing differently that makes these students so good? These are hard questions. I tried to run for this board, but at the last minute, I kind of got shoved aside. I will be running in 2024. I will be asking these questions.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, that was, thank you everyone for being here. Those were the only public comment cards I got on this topic. But I think we might have some emails on the topic. We have no emails on the topic. Any other public comment on this topic? Otherwise, we'll move on to the next one. All right.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome to stay and watch the whole meeting. And I mean, we actually cover a lot of ground here, a lot of deep work. Next is some folks to talk about the solar panels on the fields, but I will wait and let the room clear out a little bit for the folks who have decided to leave. Okay. I think I see some comment cards for someone who might not be in the room. Do you mind just checking to see? Devin Caroselli, I don't see. That's what I thought. Okay.
Can we call the next one? Then?
Well, I don't see actually. Sure. So I've got written speaker forms for Devin Caroselli, Virginia Lorber. Just if I say your name and you're here, please come on up. Devin Caroselli, Virginia Lorber, Matt Weaver. You guys are okay. You're all coming in together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, open that back door and let one big breeze.
All right. The first card I have is for Devin Caroselli.
Can we go in a different order? Is that okay?
Sure. If so, I've got cards for the 5 of you. If you guys want to go in whatever order you want, and then we've got a 20-minute time limit on the topic.
Hoping to beat that by a lot.
And then thank you. And then if there's anyone here who sent an email on this topic, you know, if you would just let us know, is your preference to have your email read aloud, or are you going to come do public comment? Because we don't want to do both if we can, right? Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Right.
thank you so much for being here and doing this job for kids. Just want to say I appreciate you so much. And I'm just going to start there. And Melissa Walding. I'm a PE teacher at New Brighton Middle School for the last 20 years. And I'm here to speak on behalf of the PE department and the children of our community. Children first means putting the New Brighton field first. And I implore you to pause the construction of the 3 solar panels scheduled to be installed directly on our outdoor teaching space. Our field is in disarray after the loss of our beloved groundskeeper, COVID, a severe drought, an onslaught of gophers, and dirt filled with construction debris. We are left with a field that is not up to the standards that our children deserve. Rolled ankles and bloody knees are becoming a common occurrence in our PE classes. Our after-school sports teams do not have a proper facility to train and play home games. We need to prioritize the field. The beginning of yet another construction project will only exacerbate the field situation by creating more debris and taking away more space. The only space that's left in Capitola. We should not be planning a field around a solar panel. The priority needs to be the field, and the solar panels should be worked around that priority. This can't be just any field, but a full-size regulation field. A field that preserves our 2 outdoor teaching stations that we currently use. A field that allows the children of our community to walk or bike to practices and after-school activities. A field that our MBMS sport teams can train and play home games on. A field that the district can rent as a source of revenue. A field that serves an entire community. Let's not call it a field. Let's call it a sports complex. Kids will be drawn to attend MBMS from other schools and districts for a sports complex. We already have the programs, the coaches, and certainly the athletes. We just need the facilities. No one will be drawn to attend our district for a solar panel. Put the field first, and please pause the panels. Thank you.
Hi. And your name's, just so I make sure I've got
Yes.
your
sure.
card. Are you Matt?
Matt Weaver.
Thank you,
yes.
Matt.
I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you this evening. I'm a parent of 2 New Brighton students, and my birthday happened to be on April 26th, the meeting with the solar panels, and that night I pulled up images of the field, just asking the question, okay, what will fit? You stated during the meeting that it would fit, and I'm an engineer. I quickly started with aerial images and put them in a professional 3D CAD system, and carefully scaled it, and got a rough idea, and alarm bells immediately went off. I realized that the field that probably could fit there would be undersized, and so then I went out a few days later with professional optical survey equipment and surveyed a bunch of critical data points around the entire field, to within a 1/4 inch over the whole thing. So I knew exactly what the dimensions were. And then the solar panels, I checked Main Street, know exactly what the panels are. So there are no assumptions on the size. I know exactly what each array is and what it fits, and examine exactly what could fit. And it comes down to the best possible field that could fit on this property is 96 by 60 yards. And for a U13 field, that's undersized, and it doesn't meet it for U12. And I'm going on USA Soccer guidelines. Basically, you want a 70 by 110 yard, or up to 75 by 112. And that's the window that you want to fit. This field, then I looked at possible alternate candidate geometries, and it happens to be big enough here to have such a field and a track. Also looked at, went through the board dockets to kind of get an idea of the history, and there's these 2017 master plans, and remarkably, both arrays completely violate the 2 master plan documents I found. I mean, they're useless with where the arrays are. They block the field, they block the track. But there you can actually take the arrays that we plan to have and fit them with both those master plans with a little more strategic placement. And I feel that there's actually better designs as well. And I have a detailed document being as proper as I can, providing these facts so that you can judge them for yourself. I tried to write it up the last couple of days. Haven't had much sleep because it's, working and then doing this at night. But I'd like to get that to you and so give you some information, but I think it is a reasonable and very wise thing to pause the panels. I know you had to go through a change order that was probably a hard pill to swallow and probably want to get this thing all over and done with, but I think the implications are pretty huge and appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt. And then if you don't mind just saying your name, so we mark your card, please.
Virginia
Thank you,
Lorber.
Virginia.
Good evening. My name is Virginia. I have two daughters attending New Brighton who both play sports here. One, which is Addie, and if you know her, you probably know she is a much better public speaker than I am. So I'm going to be reading. I'm here to discuss an issue that has growing parent and teacher concern. The solar panel placement on the playing field affecting the NBMSP program and after-school sports, as well as future track and field improvements. I recently attended the town hall for the solar panel discussion and walked away with the understanding or misunderstanding that there were drawings incorporating the solar panels into the future track and field improvements. Since Matt, who just spoke, a fellow parent and mechanical engineer, thoroughly researched the Maddie architecture improvement designs from 2017 and could not find a drawing incorporating a track and an 11v11 field in addition to the solar panels. Two different field plan design documents for NBMS could be found online, neither of which, when overlaid with the proposed solar panel placement, were found to be compatible. Nothing but an undersized field seemed to fit with the solar panels as placed, not a U13 field, nor a pair of U12 fields. I spend most of my day as owner of Sandman Glass and subcontractor on many multi-story buildings, reviewing architectural plan sets, specifications, and speaking with architects. After 22 years in the building profession, I understand how critical a project's drawings and specifications are to the success of the project. Poor drawings and details contribute to expensive change orders, compatibility issues, or product failures. Without real architectural drawings and dimensions incorporating both track and field design and solar panels, we cannot be certain that the solar panels won't hinder the future track or the future field design. There is potential that going forward without incorporating both design elements together will result in a costly change order to work around the panel placement. Shop drawings are often the least expensive proposed item to a project, yet the most critical. All of this points to putting the project on hold, pausing the panels, investigating the options, designing and integrating both solar panels and proposed future field developments together. Because of this, I ask you to pause the panels. Thank you for listening and thank you for serving on the board.
Thank you.
Hello. Thank you for being here.
Hi.
My name's Malia Horn and I sent an email and I'm just going to read it.
Okay.
I have a student at New Brighton and a student at Main Street. So I've seen the drama of the solar panels installed on the field up there. And that kind of alarmed me when I heard that there was going to be panels installed here. Dear Board of Trustees, I'm writing to you to please reconsider the plan to install solar panels on the New Brighton Middle School field. As a parent and neighbor, I see this project as being a disaster to the students and the teaching staff who will utilize the space. It will drastically reduce the teaching space as well as provide inequities for your students and community by not giving them proper space to learn and play. I also think that not having a new track and field plan approved before adding the panels is an oversight by the superintendent and the assistant superintendent. I've email requested design plans a few times and have seen nothing indicating the solar panels with the track and field space. Please put a pause on this project and get a design moving forward that'll benefit students, teachers, and the community. Thanks.
Thank you. Hello. Hi. Yeah.
Yes, Devin Caroselli. Thanks, everybody, and unfortunate that we are talking at the same meeting as the prior topic. I happen to stand firmly opposed to the prior topic. I'm for all the inclusive flags there can be. So in terms of the solar panel, the solar panels in the field, the more I learn, the more I'm convinced we need to do whatever we can to do to pause the installation of the solar panels. Just simply from an equity standpoint, there's not that many locations where an 11v11 field can fit or a track can fit in this community. And we serve a lot of kids that need that. They need it in walking distance, in biking distance, so they can get there on their own because they don't have the support of parents who can just pick them up and take them willy-nilly to different places. So from an equity perspective, that's a really important aspect of this, is that we need to be thinking about how this impacts the community long-term, and not just the aspect of course, we all want solar panels. It also is future income for the school district. If we can have this type of 11v11 field and track, this is a space that would be rented out to community groups for the use for soccer games and soccer tournaments. And in particular, the PE department, for the diversity and fullness of their curriculum, we need to have them be provided with a full-size field. Right now, my understanding is that they rely on Monterey Park to provide an extra teaching station and then use the current field for 2 stations. And with the solar panels included, that would reduce the current field down to 1 teaching station. And so that would directly impact the overall curriculum abilities of the PE department. And then also after-school athletics, which I think we all know are important, and it would certainly affect the ability to have a full after-school athletics program. So the current plan may require change order or other costs to allow for a full field and track, not to mention potential coordination with the city of Capitola. But if this is the difference between the kids in this community having access to a real soccer field and track and them never having that opportunity, then it's worth it, regardless of how far along we are on this path. So thank you for your time. Meant to ask. We ask you to pause the panel.
Thank you. Got it. Thank you. Okay, we got all the in-person speakers on this item. I think we may have an email or 2, but I noticed, so Malia, you read your email, right? Okay, excellent. Do you want me to read those emails, or okay?
I have only one from I know Scott has a couple of additional ones.
You got some, perfect. Okay, thank you.
So I can go first.
Thank you very much.
This is from Ashley Edgar. I'm sorry I cannot be at the meeting in person. To our esteemed school board, I am writing to bring attention to the solar project proposed at NBMS. We have reached out to our district administration repeatedly regarding this project and have had our concerns overlooked. This is because we were not included in the process, and we are extremely concerned that the proposed project will hinder further development of the grounds. This project needs to be put on pause, and we need to include more transparency. We would like to have a voice in the decisions that affect our open space at NBMS. I am supportive of renewable energy, but not at the expense of open space on our campus for students and community members. The district administration has had ample opportunity to include staff directly in this conversation and took no such measures until March 28th, 2023, with a meeting at our request. We were also invited to a town hall meeting that explained the project as planned, with groundbreaking schedule for May 28th. I'm sorry, for Monday, May 29th. That is incorrect. Tuesday, it's the groundbreaking. This is barely a month's notice and feels like we were purposefully not included. I visited the district office in person last summer when the center of the field was fenced off. That was my first notification that a solar farm was going onto our playing fields. Catherine Hughes has also submitted a concern regarding the project directly to administration when she noticed fences last summer. There was no follow-up with either of us by the district administration, but the fences were removed. I have had to repeatedly reach out and initiate communication for a project that directly affects our program. I emailed the district administration on December 8th, 2022 to ask for a meeting. They did not schedule with me until the aforementioned March meeting. This did not give us enough time to consider our voice and concerns. We still good, there's more. Okay. I want to encourage you to pause this project to look more closely at the proposal and unintended outcomes. The location and the size of the panels will affect our current practices within NBMS PE program and after-school sports. Moreover, the effect on the footprint of an already oddly shaped field might prevent us from having a proper playing field at NBMS. These panels are massive and require large pillars to support them. This is not a project that can be easily revisited once the panels are installed. Even if it costs money, I implore you to pause the project and revisit the process while including more stakeholders, respectfully and with gratitude for your service. That's the only one.
Thank you. Okay.
I have a couple from community members. Brett Grassel is the first one. And he says, I'm writing again regarding the placement of the solar panels right in the middle of the usable field space at New Brighton Middle School. As parents and community, we are greatly distressed about this possibility. I understand the placement is directed by the district office. However, I realize that no change has been made despite great uproar within our community. Please halt the solar panel placement on vital NBMS field space. And then I have one more from Julia Burke. Mr. Turnbull and board members, hello. I am writing to express concern on the solar panel project at NBMS. As a parent of an athlete who literally has played at least one sport every season for NBMS in addition to club soccer and club water polo, I have personally also been volunteering to coach the track team mostly in hurdles and running dynamics as I have experience, and that's from college track. The fields at our schools are in disarray, and the students can barely run without hitting a pothole. What we truly need is a field with a path and track to run around. We even were not able to practice track at the high school this year, which then gave us nothing but a shared blacktop and potholes to practice all the track events current in New Brighton. As for the solar panels, I myself have invested in solar and believe it is crucial to create the power we need from the sun. That being said, I'm hoping priority goes to our students' field so they can start their athletic path successfully and competitively with other schools, while having the solar be built not on their space to exercise and learn crucial life sports. There are many other places solar can be placed, and the limited space the students have should not be infringed upon. Please, can the space for sports be saved? That's it.
Okay. Thank you. I think we've heard from folks in public. We've got our emails. As you know, we can't take action on things that are not on the agenda, but we appreciate everyone showing up and sharing their perspective. I don't have any other public comment cards on any other topics from folks. Do we have any emails that didn't come up? Okay. In that case, we will keep going with our meeting. You're welcome to stay with us. If you need to go, we understand whatever works for you. But thank you all for being here. We're going to move on to our standing reports. So we start with items from our assistant superintendents. You ready to go first?
I will go first.
Okay.
Actually, I'll forego most of my updates since we've had a lot of talking.
Okay.
I've been working on the budget, and 3 of my agenda items later in the meeting are a lot of what I've been working on over the last couple of weeks. So,
okay.
And I'll have an update on the May revise for you at our next meeting when we have our budget.
Thank you very much.
I too will forego most of my topics except for just these two. First, I was very proud to attend and volunteer at the QYLA awards ceremony on Saturday. As a parent of a very proud gay woman, I was happy to see that children younger than she is now are being seen for who they are. And I don't know that she could have been seen for who she was outside of our household in her school experience. So it was really great to be there and doing that. Also, too, I was very proud to serve our local community at the delegate assembly for AXA this past week in Sacramento. We really got a firsthand look at the items that are being focused on by our state superintendent and our governor, with regard to education policy, and mental health. And so I am just very thankful to be able to continue to do that work on behalf of our whole community here. Me too. Thank you so much.
Thank you for doing it. I'll make mine quick too. Just reflecting back on the Queer Youth Leadership Awards this past Saturday, I couldn't be more proud to be part of a district that not only supports it in lip service, but goes above and beyond in preparation. Everyone from down to our maintenance staff to an army of volunteers. The folks that were run the event couldn't believe that so many district folks, district administrators, and other folks volunteered their own time on Saturday night to support the event. So I couldn't be more proud. Just a few other things. We had our final equity walk of the year. So not every school has an equity walk, and that was May 8th at Main Street. That was a great event. And again, it's not something that we would go in with any kind of judgmental eye. We go in as a team to train ourselves on how to approach and look for evidence of equity and how we can improve in that area. And everybody involved took it in that right frame of mind. And I know it will continue our equity journey further down the road. Kind of an unfortunate thing that the community has spun into a fortunate thing is we had some garden items, some small fruit trees and a couple of other items stolen yesterday from Main Street's garden area, which is just the lowest form of theft. I don't know how else to say it, to steal something from kids, to put their own love and sweat and toil into planting those things. And so, but the community has responded, and the district will replace anything of a financial value, but the community has responded and made sure that the staff and the students there know how much they are supported. The KSBW came out today and did a little news piece. So if you have your local news on record, you might see Mr. Platt and our wonderful garden teacher, Miss McElroy, talking a little bit about it. So not a great thing, but like usual, this community turns a negative into a positive. And then the final thing I say is we had our second round of negotiations with SEA last week. And we have a lot of agreement on language and some real good positive momentum and traction. There's a lot of wait and see right now across the state with the governor's budget. We just had the May revise. Tax rolls are coming at a later date than normal. So there's a lot of wait and see on the financial end, which we can't really control, but on the parts we control, we're really negotiating good faith and in a good place. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up is items from CSEA.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. My name is Sasha Talavera. If you don't know me, I am the homeroom supervisor at SoCal Elementary School. I have served with dedication and love and pride our SoCal Union's elementary school districts for 7.5 years. I am looking forward to moving into a new position next fall as an inclusion specialist. And so I would like to share with you some CSEA updates. CSEA will be holding our monthly meeting tomorrow evening, Thursday at 5:30 p.m. This meeting will offer our members the opportunity to vote on Article 6, pay and allowances, 8, health and welfare benefits, and 11, leaves. We would like to welcome Marla from the IT department, who will represent the district office on our negotiations team. The negotiations team looks forward to collaborating with the district on the 2023-2024 contract reopener. Together with Enrique Domo, I would like to express my gratitude for the board's adoption of the resolution to fly the rainbow flag, honoring Harvey Milk's birthday, welcoming, honoring, and affirming our LGBTQ+ students, families, friends, and staff who so deserve to feel a sense of belonging in our SUSD community. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, SEA. Hello, thank you for coming up.
Hello, I'm Krista Petroskas. I'm the resource specialist at SoCal Elementary, and I'm also representing SEA tonight. I also want to say I am the parent of a wonderful and amazing non-binary individual who I adore. And tonight has been hard. New Brighton Middle School 6th graders won first overall at the international games. They showed a lot of grit, determination, and great sportsmanship. The New Brighton Middle School golf team also won, and they took the league title by 36 shots. Great job. And
Yeah.
way to go, New Brighton. That's pretty amazing. Several students have transferred to the Opal Cliffs this spring, seeking an alternative educational format, and they've been thriving in the home-based learning program. Opal Cliffs reached new heights recently when one of their 7th grade students joined her virtual class, first from Israel and then from Egypt, with the pyramids behind her. After studying ancient civilizations here at home. These are some examples of what our home-based learning program can offer students and families in the community. Santa Cruz Gardens is proud to raise the rainbow flag on May 9th alongside other schools in the district and throughout the county. They had their final community assembly on being an upstander. The entire staff was appreciated all week by the Home and School Club, and Santa Cruz Gardens will be closing the school with a campfire song assembly, the Banana Slug String Band, and the talent showcase. SoCal Elementary had their Arts on the Greens on Thursday, May 11th. There was artwork from each student displayed, and each grade level came up to sing a song during a musical performance. There was an amazing turnout of families, and the students all had a great time. Main Street School recently had a successful fundraising auction and open house. It was great to mingle with families at both events. Main Street staff also appreciated all the wonderful ways our families expressed appreciation for them last week. In less positive news, as Mr. Twinville has already expressed, the Life Lab garden at Main Street was robbed. Someone came in twice over the past week, and every fruit tree, several berry and pollinator bushes, and other plants have been removed from the garden. The community has been, Main Street is very appreciative of the garden company and other members of the community who have been offering donations and support to help repair this devastating loss. SUESD recently hosted the 26th annual Queer Youth Leadership Awards at New Brighton Middle School. There were so many district volunteers and attendees, from SEA members to district office staff to CSEA members to board members. Some of our district families were also in attendance, as well as those from school districts and organizations represented all the way from up in San Lorenzo Valley down to Watsonville. Community leaders attended in impressive numbers as well. Several attendees from our district shared how heartening it was to see young people from such a traditionally marginalized group uplifted, valued, and celebrated. And in many cases, how important an event like this was to them personally. It was so powerful to hear the voices from young people themselves in the LGBTQ+ community share life experiences such as enrolling in a new elementary school and not being sure about whether they could express themselves. How meaningful having a library book or library books with positive LGBTQ representation was for them, finding camaraderie in the QSA and junior QSA groups, feeling empowered to carve out space for themselves, and the importance of having adults in their lives who explicitly offered safety and support. This is part of our business as educators, to let students know that they are not alone, to reassure them and their families, no matter what the configuration, you are welcome with us, to give students a positive vision for their lives, to let students know that our schools are a safe place, to make sure they know that no matter how they evolve or define themselves as a person, when they move forward through life, if they ever feel rejected, isolated, marginalized, or unsafe, they know they can always come back to any school in the SUESD district, and they will be given support, love, and acceptance. Displaying the rainbow flag is one of the many ways we try to do that, and hosting the QYLA celebration is another. SEA firmly endorses these displays of support. Finally, we're wrapping up the close of another school year, saying goodbye to some of our students, and wishing them a good summer. We also hope you guys have a good summer. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
We're gonna move on to items from trustees. Kelly, do you mind if you have anything to report? Do you mind kicking us off so I don't accidentally?
Yeah, I'll start us off. Thanks. So I attended, this is not in order, but I attended the Quila Awards. It was amazing. It was full of legislators and people, and I made the tour promoting our district. It was the students were wonderful, the awards. It was just really special to be a part of it. I also went to the Main Street Open House. Such a great turnout. The teachers were just in excellent form. That was another great event. I went to part of the equity walk at Main Street, and that's my second one. So it was really wonderful to be able to kind of see more of how it works and what Nicole is sharing with us about equity. And lastly, I attended the Heart and Soul auction at Main Street. That was so creative, so fun. There was all sorts of auction items, and I am the proud owner of San Francisco Giants tickets this summer.
Wow.
Thanks.
Thank you, Callie. Anyone want to go next? Can't top that, but who wants to go next?
Yeah, that's Callie. That's great. Yeah, I had a great time. I went to the Santa Cruz Gardens open house. I thought that was just thrilling. I love to see all the artwork. I took pictures of some of my favorite ones. You know, it's just amazing what they do at that school and how every kid feels. And you really get that feeling and that sensation when you're looking at their art and the love and the caring that they put into everything. And I thought that was really special. I also had the pleasure of going to 2 track meets that the Vikings participated in at SLV. And I supported the Vikings at both of those. And I thought we had a great showing, and it was amazing to see our athletes. And that's a heck of a track and field that they have there. And it was really special to see our kids support the Vikings and our community and go out there and give it their all.
Thank you.
So I'll start with one you guys haven't mentioned, but with my fellow board members, colleagues and I and Scott had a board development, professional development session, 2-3 hours long, very fruitful. And I think we learned a lot about what's going on and how we operate. So I really appreciated that. I also attended our equity dinner Saturday evening, and we had Jimmy Panetta there, John Laird, Don Addis, and Gail Pellerin, and a bunch of school board members from across the county. I'm going to guess a few superintendents, were there. And so it was in one room to see all those people gathered. I haven't seen that. In all my time here. And then lastly, I toured the New Brighton wood shop and brought a guest, and then met with staff to talk about a possibility of creating a wood shop pathway. And in addition to that, I reached out to Cabrillo, and they're going to contact the staff, and the staff are going to do all that. So that's it.
Thank you.
I really have nothing to report on. However, I just want to mention to Carissa that the last meeting left an impact. Somebody said they have ADHD, and that's a big step for our kids. I had to name our squirrels, and then when I say when I was a kid, it's just a huge improvement. So I told some people about that, and they're like, wow, that's great. Thank you.
All right, I guess that leaves me. I attended Santa Cruz Gardens open house. That was actually my last one there as a parent, as far as I know. That's the plan, but I always appreciate getting a chance to go to the open houses. I'm sorry I had a conflict from a work conflict for Main Street's open house. Excited to go to New Brighton's open house tomorrow. I celebrate our New Brighton graduates. I have a very special conflict on that day. My daughter's graduating high school at the same time, so I will be attending graduation. But it's a special time of year. And this is tough. And I also attended the Queer Youth Leadership Awards, and I brought the brochure. And I would invite anyone who didn't attend or anyone who did attend to look at this brochure. and read the stories of the kids who were nominated, the amazing kids who were nominated for awards, including one of our New Brighton students. And then there are allies to youth, and you will see common threads, as you mentioned in the SEA report, common threads there that that kids raised as being really important things for them. Things like seeing the flag raised, supporting their families and their own selves in their journey. Things like having representational literature in their libraries. And so I appreciated the opportunity for our district to host and for our district to show that level of support to this organization and the kids and their families. And it's always, as a board member, it is so important to listen to kids. And we are hearing directly from the kids. And if you ever want to know what kids are feeling, there's a lot of opportunity out there to hear from the kids and hear what they need and hear what they want us to know. So I'm going to just pass this around if anyone would like to take a look, including those of you in the audience. It was an incredibly meaningful, moving award. And again, yes, awards evening. And again, seeing the support from our elected officials, every single elected official you could think of was there lending their support. So just going to pass this along, and that is the end of my report.
I appreciate that. I wasn't there taking care of my mom, but I'd love to do that.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that too. I volunteer at the aquarium with the otter rescue, and we had rescues, all hands on deck.
Had to take care of some otters.
Get to dig the otters.
Please do. Yeah, no, take some time and read it. In the organization Safe Schools Project has an amazing website with a lot of resources. So there are a lot of organizations doing incredibly powerful, important work that we should all know about.
I want to add something. So we heard a lot of students speak, and I'll tell you what the thread was through all of them. And that is that you could see them, listen to them and see them reflect on what was, how their life was, and how it's so different now. And I have to think about how lonely that must have been for them to be feeling that way and never knowing if it was going to ever change. And you could just see the relief on them, on their faces, and their whole body language about how we take it for granted being comfortable, but it wasn't that easy for them.
Yeah. All right.
President Jackson Miller, we have a email from a math contest parent.
Oh,
it came in late, but I wanted to let you know. I know it's beyond that presentation time, but we did have an email that came.
Okay, thank you. Well, I think we're done with all of our trustee reports, and since we didn't get the chance to recognize our maths, and we recognize them, but yes, I'd be happy to listen to the email from the parent. Thank you.
Thank you to the COE for putting together the county math contest, and thank you to the board for recognizing all of the kids who participated. My son, Elijah Kessler, I apologize. Byron Kessler is the person who sent me this.
Thank you.
A chance to participate for the first time this year and had such a great time. Events like these are such a neat way for our kids to not only learn more about math, but gain lifelong skills as they work together and encourage each other. Thank you to Dr. D for facilitating the involvement and preparation for our New Brighton kids. Elijah is already talking about doing it again next year.
Thank you for that. And thank you for sending in the email, Kessler family.
Dr. D.
Okay. Thank you both. Have a good evening. Next up is our first discussion item. So we've got a discussion regarding our 2022-23 summer school programs. Good night.
All right, well, thank you. That's me. And so thank you to the Board of Trustees for always showing an interest in our summer program. This is not a formal presentation tonight, but just a simple discussion as to where we stand today in planning for our 2023 summer school program. As of today, we have 231 students who were recommended for participation by their teacher or another staff member. That is the largest number we've ever had identified by a staff member at a school. And we have sent invitations to all of their families. We're currently getting the consent and registrations back now, and we have about a quarter of those who are set to attend. We're very excited. And so that's a strong number for us. What that says to us is we're going through a really great identification process, and we're also providing a really good program. We have also hired 11 teachers, TK through 8, and that includes 2 classes of summer DLI. And this is something that's new for us. And so we have students who are currently not in one of our district schools, but are set to attend our kindergarten DLI program next year. And it'll be their bridge pathway to DLI. And they will be working directly with one of our district teachers who is bilingual, and they're going to be doing a play-based DLI-TK-ish summer program. And then we will also have a DLI-K program this summer. And those 2 teachers I met with today, and we are co-planning what a multilingual summer program could look like, with a focus on language, music, art, kinesthetic planning, and obviously relationship building. So that's going to be, I think, a big highlight for me, I'm just going to say. But we are very excited about that. We're also very excited that we have a returning teacher lead, DR Martin, who has been an experienced lead for us in the past and served us very well, has applied and agreed to continue with us. And so really excited to see that. She's very organized and is great at that work. We also have hired an instructional assistant for each one of the classrooms, so we can do some co-teaching and co-supporting. And then we're working with our food services supervisor to really kind of go through how we'll serve food kids through the course of their school day when they're with us in the summer. So we're looking forward to 5 weeks of fun. And obviously a lot of pre-service work to do. So right now we're acquiring materials, curriculum, room assignments, extra work requests, all that other stuff that goes along with running summer schools, what we're working on right now. So really excited about it. Does the board have any questions about this planning time?
Okay, so.
He's doing the math.
No. So early on, the ELO, or whatever you guys want to call it, required a 9-hour day. Is that what we're going to do?
Well, I will tell you that we are not offering a 9-hour program of academic time. We are always working in concert with our community partners. So we're always working with CKC. We're working with the, campus, the city of Capitola. In summer school this year, for us to have 5 weeks with the kids and being with them half of the day. We know that there are going to be kids who need to be in school longer. And so that's why we have the facility, Main Street, as the selected facility so that we can do some of that co-partnering. We also, because of our food program laws this year, we're extending our summer program day out a little bit. Because we're actually serving students lunch while they're at school after their school day is over. So it's extending the time with us. So we're working on ways to make it make more sense for our families who need that time.
But then we wouldn't qualify for reimbursement then, right?
We just have to be able to offer it. And we are offering.
But I thought it was 30 days, continuous days, 9 hours a day was the rule.
For the ELOT program, yes, we're in a non-audit year. This is our first year of implementation. So we aren't held the full standard of the program at this time. However, we meet the qualifications of it by working with CKC and with City of Capitola.
Thank you.
And then continuing to.
We're not doing anything wrong.
I'm sure. How did you figure? I wanted to know how you did it. Anyhow, the other thing was, we put this program, summer school didn't exist here forever, and then we started. So is it possible that we can consider writing up our program for the CSBA Golden Bell thing? Because we even had summer school during the pandemic.
I would say one, thank you, because you bring that to the table almost annually, and I appreciate your persistence.
Yes.
And I would say to the place that Dr. Glantz has the program, now I would feel confident submitting an application.
Great, thank you. Sorry to be nag.
No, I meant it in a good way.
And if you need support from a board member in writing that nomination or anything.
Amanda is nominating Bill.
I mean, I would as well, but
So
we're asking you to do extra
when we
work,
got
but it's.
40 on the second year, we were like ecstatic.
And, oh, sorry.
No,
I was just gonna say, like, going back to looking at years past, the fact that we did it during 2020.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
kids distancing with what, like there was a rope or something, right? There were like the marks, I mean, that was, I mean.
6 feet.
That is-
Yeah, I love the video. It'll be like it's being
I still think we were crazy. We did it anyway.
Yeah, I
Yes.
know.
And it worked.
Yes.
I was in the,
Incredible.
I was in the multi-purpose room, you know, and they're setting up for lunch. In there, and I'm like, how are you gonna do this?
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. So I've had people talk to me about this a lot, as well as a few other subjects that have been popping up, and super excited about this. And the number one question I get is this accessible to people outside of the district?
That's a great question.
Whoa.
That's a
Yeah,
great
so,
question.
yeah,
So, and I'll answer you in the way, because I get some of those emails too.
yeah.
And we actually, my assistant and I have actually been fielding a number of calls for students who attend a school in other districts. And this is the answer. We're going to serve our kids first. We're going to hire and serve for our kids first. And we do really focus on that. We do also have an interesting way of partnering with other districts in that in our ESY program, a neighboring district isn't able to offer a summer program for their students that have IEPs. And so we are actually partnering, Carissa specifically is partnering with our neighboring school districts to be able to offer students with those significant needs in our program because their districts can't offer them. So two answers. One is I don't have enough place for all of our kids yet. If there is a time where we can partner with another school district that isn't offering a summer program to the quality of ours, which we're certainly happy to look at using an MOU process like ESY is doing. But we've got 257 kids in the wings. And with that said, we're looking at hiring more teachers. We just did a reposting because we can't possibly serve all the students with the number of teachers that we have.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's like a whole new school.
It really is. And is there a cost associated? Yeah. That's the other question I've had.
Extra curtains of milk.
There is,
Yeah.
there's a cost associated with it. You know, our expanded learning opportunity program grant funds are supporting a lot of this summer work. And we have made a pretty good offer to our staff in terms of compensation to be able to support our students.
Right.
You know, we value their time. We have the money to do it right now. It's a really great partnership that we can have together. So yeah, that's.
Is this something insurance would cover or anything along those lines for parents?
No,
I don't know how that was asked. Okay.
no. Yeah, I
Always
wish.
really quick.
Yeah.
Got a little list here that, yeah, I appreciate, yeah. Yeah,
I'm
that's so cool.
so excited by all of
Yeah.
the interest and the stellar staff that you've been putting together. It's really exciting. So thank you for the update. I know Callie's over there on Zoom. I don't know if you have any questions or comments. I just want to make sure I got you. Okay. Well, thank you. If we don't have any other questions or comments, we'll see if we have any questions or comments from our in-person audience. Yep. The pressure. If not, that's fine. And do we have any emails with questions on this item?
Nothing on email.
Okay, thank you. Well, thank you for the update. We're gonna crack into our policies. Next one, or the first one of the evening is board policy 6164.2, guidance and counseling services.
So an area that we have a lot of pride in is we've expanded our counseling services. And so it's nice when we're able to make sure that the policy catches up with our practice. I have Director Lemos here tonight too to help answer any questions should we have them, since she gets the opportunity to manage our counselors and supervise them. In terms of the changes to this policy, I'll start with the simple one first, because you're going to hear this in a lot of the policies that we do, You'll see the change from gender-based language to gender-neutral language throughout. That one's pretty straightforward. And then it's a pretty comprehensive overview of the policy. And so, but it really does match what we're doing. So like reading through it, it's like, okay, this is not just something that we're putting on paper. This is what we do. For example, having this all couched under the multi-tier system of support MTSS model, right? So that counseling doesn't exist over here in a vacuum, and maybe the kids go see them for career counseling in New Brighton and then something else. And, you know, it's all kind of disconnected. It all has to be part of the system that serves students across 3 tiers. And so that's what the policy calls for. Fortunately, again, that's what we all are already working on, making sure is implemented. And there's other kind of more comprehensive directional language about counseling in general, but the idea again is to make it a comprehensive program that works with other systems in a school rather than just something off to itself.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board?
Well, this was just a total rewrite then.
Yeah,
A
pretty
good
much.
chunk of it, yeah.
So basically, this is from Ed,
CSB.
no, Ed,
CSBA.
yeah, CSBA, basically CSBA. Okay. Yeah, it's, you know, a few paragraphs took me a little.
Yeah.
A couple times, but okay.
Yeah, I think it shows how far we've come in terms of thinking about multi-tiered systems of support and counseling in schools. So sometimes more language in a policy isn't always a good thing.
Yeah.
It feels like this is really honoring and acknowledging
Right.
where we are now. So I appreciate it. I don't have any specific questions. Yeah.
I have a statement to make. And so, you know, back in the day, it was the 3 Rs, and that was what everybody wanted us to focus on, just those things. But nowadays, employers want people who can work and can work with other people. And so the soft skills, what we call, you know, ELA or
SEL.
yeah, it's so important to learn early in life. If you can't learn how to be a team player, how to have empathy, how to accept others and to work with others, you aren't going to go far. So this is very important for developing, you know, people who are going to be running this country in our county later on in about 10 or 15 years.
There is one item that I needed to add, and it's 2 paragraphs that I overlooked that are high school related that we need to strike when we bring it back to you for a second reading. And that's on page 47 of your docket, page 3 of 7 of the policy, underneath the lettering. So at the top of that page, again, that's 47 of your docket, page 3 of 7 of the policy. You'll see at the top of that page, D, E, F, and G. 2 paragraphs right under there are specifically high school. And it's not just like high school, like we want kids to be prepared. It's very specific, like programmatical for high school. So we'll just take those out when we bring it to you for the second reading.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments from the board on this one? Okay. No emails? Okay, I'll keep asking. All right. Thank you to the team for updating the policy for us, and thank you for presenting it. Next up is board policy 6158, independent study.
All right, well, thank you. It's so good to be back in front of you again. This first reading of 6158 independent study is also a reflection of what's recommended through CSBA. It is a 15-page policy, and it probably was very cumbersome to get through, was also very cumbersome to edit. Some of the reasons that it was kind of cumbersome to edit is because if the board recalls, when we were going through COVID, there was some 6158.1 that were specifically related to COVID and COVID related absences and all kinds of things like that. This policy reverts all the way back to, before that, and then makes changes from that. So a lot of additions to this policy, obviously, because of that. More specifically, what the board would want to take a look at in looking at the policies that exist today is all the ways in which this policy intends to protect students from not being at school and not having structures built into a school district that supports their continued learning. So there's additions to this that says this is how many days, this is how to expect the work, this is how to keep records, this is how to do all of those things to ensure that when students aren't at school, they're not just independently independent, that they're independent of a school district in person, but not in by nature of instruction or educational support. One particular way that we can see this evidenced is in our Opal Cliffs program, is that as I was going through the suggested changes to the policy, I could see all of the things we do in Opal Cliffs. We keep these records, we do assignments like this, we do check-ins, we do all of these kinds of things. And the reason this policy exists is so that schools and school districts can have, you know, fully functioning programs like ours does. And I think we do a really good job of it. So it is there for your first reading, and any questions you have for me about it.
Yeah, so on, I guess, page 58, number 3, about the board, and we set a resolution. The courses, you know, right, we set a resolution. Is this for high school, like Scott? Because I read up, I saw the high school in there and I thought by law we had to have something in there, but we will set a resolution, right?
We can set a resolution if we have a program that is course-based. So right now, Opal Cliffs is not, it's subject-based, but it's not course-based. So let's say, for example, I, for whatever reason, was failing my physical education class and I needed to do credit recovery to independently to gain those credits back to graduate from middle school. Then there we might need a course-based resolution that said that.
Oh, okay.
But we don't have the need for credit recovery right now. There may be a time in the future when we build Opal Cliffs to be more of a credit recovery course-based program. But right now it's a full day multi-subject program. Does that make sense?
Yeah, courses and subject.
Yeah.
So credit recovery is kind of like alternate school.
Yeah, I mean, it's more commonly found at the high school level. I think that's really common, actually. And I don't know that we'll never be in the business of that. But I can also see there might be a time when we would have a need for that. As an example might be, and I'm just kind of mentioning out loud, let's say, for example, I have severe anxiety when it comes to math at school. And I can't access math in that environment. And I want an alternative. And maybe the alternative is for me to have an independent study option through Opal Cliffs with a teacher that I see virtually. That's a possibility that I could see.
So another question, is hybrid ever going to come back?
I hope not. I mean, well, I say that in jest, but Opal Cliffs is a hybrid program,
right,
in truth.
Okay, so what I mean by that is that there's a teacher instructing online at a given on a schedule.
Well, our Opal Cliffs teacher does teach every day online on schedule.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I guess
okay.
that answers your question.
And then the 1 week thing, that's kind of harsh, right? To get tossed out of the program.
Yeah, you know, I mean, if we had a larger program, that might be something that would be more unwieldy. But if there's a student that's not really attending Opal Cliffs for a day, the teacher is saying, where are you? What's happening? But, you know, there are times, I mean, and we did have this during COVID actually, where families were really leaving the area and going places and doing things, right, and they were part of Opal Cliffs and we're like, are you still around? What's happening? Do we need to disenroll you? So we did see some of that at that time. Any other questions on the policy from the board? No, we're good. Okay. Thanks for the thorough update. Thanks for all the work getting it ready for us. We do appreciate it. All right, our next one is board policy. Oh, back to Michelle. Board policy 3230 federal grant funding.
This is super exciting, you guys. I've got like one change.
Doesn't give us more money.
Yeah.
It's the money page.
This is in regards to federal grant funding, and with new regulations, it just updated. If we currently don't have an award like this, but if we did for the performance report, we would have 120 days now instead of 90 days to do the filing of the report. But most of all of our federal monies are under the purview of our auditors, and it's a separate set. This is for very specific awards of federal monies, but I like to keep us up to date with everything. So 90 to 100 or 120. If the board has any questions about the changes.
So why the being nice,
They were, they just figured it became effective November 12th, 2020. And I think there was something going on then. So they were giving people extra time.
Gotcha.
I don't get it.
All right. Any other questions from the board on this one? No, pretty straightforward one. I forgot to ask if we had any public comment on our prior item. I forgot to. And I know, anything on, nothing in person, no emails on the prior policy, anything on this one?
Nope.
No, okay, thank you for all of the work going through the policies for us, and we'll see it again on our next agenda. And oh, it's time for our LCAP. Yeah. Yes. Okay. All right. 8E discussion on updates on the LCAP.
Okay. Well, before I get to the specific LCAP bite, I'll just say that we are in LCAP season. It's a great season. We have an opportunity to really look at some information about our students and our community deeply. Where I'm right now looking at the student feedback survey, which is just priceless. We've got about 250 respondents in just 2.5 days. And
Wow.
students are really telling us good things. One of the greatest things that they're telling us is that they're unabashedly honest. But I love this. When asked, at school, I mostly feel their two top things are happy and tired. So
School tired?
but there's lots of good things that they're telling us. And so I just wanted the board to know that, the families that we're serving and talking to, and the staff surveys that we're looking at, the student surveys that we're looking at, and we've got a meeting on Monday with our staff representatives. I think we're going to have a really strong 3rd year closeout of our 3-year LCAP. So I'm really excited about that. That said, today, I'm just going to give you a quick update under goal 3 about our community liaison, and I bring this one to the board each year. We have had a community liaison since I have been here, and it's important that the board knows the kind of work that the community liaison continues to do in our district. That's Lily Espinoza, and she attends IEPs, she translates IEPs, she translates our documents, she comes to our parent nights, she calls families, she makes sure they're in attendance. And really she is a trusted community member. And so I just want to be able to, in this very brief time, say, boy, it's great to have her in the LCAP, and even better, she's just a really strong part of our community, and we're lucky to have her in talent, but also in spirit. Yes, that is it. Thank you.
So I have no question. I want to make a comment, and it's going to be from left field.
Okay.
But I attended a meeting online for counties and cities doing their climate action plan. And I think it was one of the counties down south went to the school district, found their outreach person and said, can you share with everybody what we're doing for the climate? And then they became part of the county action plan, because the school district's outreach people know everyone and been everywhere.
Yeah.
And so they became the main conduit to get the word out on what's going on with the climate plan.
That's awesome. Well, and I will say just an event to highlight in our district was that we had our year-end district English Learner Advisory Committee meeting at New Brighton. And we had students that were bridging from elementary to middle school. attend, and we had dinner together and we did a tour of the school together, and Lily was there translating. Our ELD specialists were there, Ms. Hadriest and Ms. Birchall were there, and we had some really happy kids and families.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Other questions on the LCAP update? Questions or comments? I think we all have had a lot of wonderful experience seeing our community liaison in action, and I love what you had to say about her talent and her spirit, and of course the LCAP goal is not on one particular person, it's the role, but boy are we lucky, and talk about really having a position that really brings it all together in so many ways in terms of getting the voices at the table who need to be at the table. That's just really critical. So I really appreciate that goal and that position. Any other questions, comments from the board on this update? Okay. In person.
I love Lily. I love to hear that celebration of her and that you're all, I just want to double down on it.
Thank you. We love getting comments. So thank you.
Nothing on email.
Okay. That's okay. We just keep given the opportunity. All right. Well, thank you for the update. We appreciate it. We'll move on to our action items. Next, we're to consider approving a bid contract for Main Street roof replacement.
This is really exciting. I thank the board for spending the rest of their evening with me, since I have the next 3 action items. So just a little bit of a background, since we do have some new board members, and this is kind of one of a bigger bid project that we're bringing forward for approval tonight. Main Street's roof, I think we have a Main Street teacher in here that would concur with me, needs a lot of love. And so we have been doing our best to try to keep up with it. And we came to a point that there's just no more spending money to fix. We've got to move towards the replacement phase. And so we worked with our partners at Maddie, who took the lead for us. And because this is an in-kind replacement, DSA approval is not, they did their part on the engineering and architectural design to specify it to be an in-kind replacement, so that this could go a little bit smoother and not through all the DSA, which would take a long time because we wanted to get this project completed over the summer. So we have 3 tiers of procurement. If it's under $60,000, the district, myself or Scott as your designee, can enter a contract and not take it to informal or formal bid. These are usually for smaller contracts, and different consultants that we work with is typically what that area falls under. From 60,000 to 200,000 is what we would be considered, as CUPCA. And as a CUPCA district, the 60 to 200,000 area is what they call informal bid. And so for informal bid, we reach out to our list of contractors who are put on a list under us. They reach out to us. Our architect reaches out. Adam, who's working with Garland, doing the procurement of the materials, reaches out to any contractor out there who is in the industry that we're looking for. So in this particular case, I believe they reached out to 7 or 8 different companies that do roofing. We had, I believe, 4 or 5 that did the walkthrough at Main Street. We had 3 that came in and brought a sealed bid. It still needs to be sealed. It just doesn't have to go through the formal bid process where you have to put it out, you have to do your RFP, you have a 12-day window. It's a more extensive if you're going over $200,000. As you can tell, this bid came in under $200,000 with the alternate attached to it. And so with that, with the alternate on there, I just wanted to mention, you'll see the 3 bids that came in. I do want to mention, for transparency, it was noon on May 10th that bids had to be in and submitted. There was 1 bidder that did submit a bid after the deadline and was not included in this procurement. They were not the lowest bidder, even if they had been part of this, but they did not. There is the threshold of if we set a time limit for bids to be received. For sure. And so we had 3 companies, both our Maddie, our architects, and the contractor we were working with have worked with all 3 companies. And so really what it came down to is price. And so we went with the Stronger Building Services, as their price did come in lower. You can see the differences for base bid. That was to fix the MU. And that component, that's the biggest part of it, with an alternate bid on the commons flat roof area. That's really, really bad. So you can see where they weren't the lowest bidder on the base bid, but they were the lowest bidder on the alternate. And so hence being overall the lowest bidder of the 3 that were submitted.
I see.
Mike, just a quick question. I was curious why Waterproofing and Associates, I mean, their alternate bid for the commons is, this was all, of course, apples to apples. Why was their bid for the alternate? I mean, it was $52,000 versus everybody else's 15 or 20.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just,
You know, it's interesting. I asked when we opened the bids and we had the conversation, because their base bid is so close. Sometimes, I don't know for sure, because we aren't allowed to ask because the bid comes in as the bid comes in. And so we can't ask them that question. It could be because their labor on that alternate was more. A lot of times what I've seen in past projects is the alternate bid is not as attractive. So they will spike the price. So we won't take it. But then if we were to say, well, we don't want to do the alternate bid, we're just going to do the base bid.
Right.
You might have been the lowest. Yeah. There's a lot of different reasons. Contractors don't want to or not want to do something.
Right.
You know, materials costs are roughly the same. It probably either came down to labor and or just not really wanting to do that part of the bid.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And we're servicing both together, right? I mean, so we're not just choosing the base bid. This is a
yes, the base bid, and then we are choosing to elect to do the alternate. Now,
Right.
we could have, once the bids came in and the alternate may have been way more than anticipated, say they all came in around $50,000.
Right.
We would have had a discussion if this was the right time to include the alternate or change the scope of the project.
Gotcha. Cool. Thank you.
Question, in kind, does that mean asphalt?
In kind means it's the exact same roof that's on there now.
Mm.
And they I cannot lie. They've talked a lot about composite and shingle, and I don't remember. Like, I remember a lot of things, but not that one.
Right, yeah, so not metal though, right?
Oh, no, it's the exact same roof that they have now, just new.
Well, next time in 50 years,
Yeah.
metal up.
Ting, 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 ting.
Why, yeah.
And so that's kind of our informal bidding process. Just a little background for the board before approving this tonight.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the team?
I have a question.
Yes.
And Michelle, I mean, I think probably this is just a legal thing, but do we ever take into account companies that are local? It always hurts my heart when we're a local school and yet we're hiring a company that's, you know, where they're driving 50 miles to come help us. I mean, do we ever take local businesses into account, or are we kind of bound by law to have to go for the cheapest bid?
In a situation where we're going for informal bid, we have to go with the lowest bid unless there's a very compelling reason. They did not have a bid bond. They didn't provide the correct specifications to the bid package itself. Something really big to say, even though you're the lowest, we're not going with you. I will say, yes, when we do smaller projects, we like to use as many local companies as we can because we want to use local companies. We build relationships with them. They're more accessible to come to and help us. For contracts of this size and bigger, I can tell you, Callie, it's really hard to get local companies to bid on this. We don't have a lot of companies of that size.
It's a tough bidding process. There's a lot of paperwork you have to fill out, and some companies don't have the person to do that.
They also have to comply with Department of Industrial Relations. They have to prevailing wages. It has to be, the project has to go so a lot of contractors are just like,
right,
I'm gonna do residential. I don't have to do anything. So it's hard, especially in this county, because we're not that large. So that's why we do.
We use granite.
We do when we can't. Yeah, we use granite for the bond. Yeah.
Good question. Thank you. Any questions from the team here?
Well, I saw a Main Street roof that needs it.
Yeah.
Yes, it
It
does.
does.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's gonna have a nice shiny new roof come fall.
And that's the new campus.
Yeah, I know. I know. We talked a lot about that. Also, just as a side note, it is not impacting summer school at all. They are beginning the day after summer school ends.
Oh.
There will be maybe some fencing going up a little bit prior to the ending, but really it's not, it's their end and we start, and they should be done the Friday before school starts. Because contracts always go just as planned, right?
I believe you.
Contracts and construction always go
Yeah.
as planned.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Any questions, comments from the public?
Okay, Jennifer, is it new building? do you know the new building leaks? I was like, are the roof people gonna look at the new building? Anyway, there's 2 rooms in the new building upstairs that leaked.
Oh, no, that's a different, we can look, I'll talk to Steve on that one, but that's different than this because that's under a different warranty. Yeah.
It's warranty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah. Yep. Nope.
Any emails?
Nope.
No.
We are good to
Okay.
go.
So this is an action item. Do I have the motion to approve the bid contract?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Thank
Main
you.
Street.
So when are we roofing?
No.
One thing at a time.
As soon as it starts leaking.
Oh, it's leaking.
All right, next is to consider approval of the materials contract for the roof replacements.
So this is the second part of it. The contract that you just approved was for labor only. In the sense of labor and the contractor, what they're bidding for. These are the CMAS materials, like the actual composite roof itself materials. And so per contract bidding, especially informal bidding, you can use CMAS pricing because as it says on the document, California Municipal Award Schedule. So the Garland Company is part of the CMAS program. So all of their pricing is already set. And so we don't have to go through another bidding process or anything like that because they've taken that to the next level. And so part of the bid package was producing a CMAS list of all the items needed. And so that is what I have on this agenda item for you. To approve the materials and the to the roofing project. I just want to say, if you don't approve it, it's going to be a weird roof. Hence why it's coming after the approval of the actual contractor.
So the materials, what's their life?
You mean like a 25-year?
Oh, there you
warranty?
go.
Yeah, like it has a roof warranty. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it
It's-
25 years?
Yeah, I believe it is. I'll double check in the contract, but that's usually pretty standard for roofs. And it's the same company we used for the gym. And it's the same company that did the commons and the office library at Main Street before. It's all the contractor is different, but the CMAS contract with Garland is the same company. So we've worked with them a lot in the past.
Michelle, is there any other roofs at any of our other properties or something like that, that maybe this is coming up, or we might have to address this in the next year or two, or something coming off warranty that, I mean, we might want to, I don't know, take some, pejorative action or something like that beforehand or something?
We do. We have, so Main Street has been our worst, as far as ironically, it's our newest or second newest building compared to Opal, but we've had the worst luck at Main Street with theirs. When we did the library and the office area a couple years ago, when we did the gym, it kind of went really fast at Main Street with the library, from being okay and patching it up to like, we just can't do anything more with it. The second worst one is Santa Cruz Gardens. However, with the HVAC units, or rooftop units, that's being addressed through the Climate Tech project. So we're hoping once that's set and Main Street has been set, then we've pretty much hit the rounds, and then we'll go back and look at if there's any additional, like smaller. Also too, I'm not going to lie, if this project had gotten any bigger at this time, we start getting into other kind of bidding and not being able to hit our mark for summer. And I really, really didn't want Main Street to go through another winter without having a new roof.
Good call.
Yeah.
So on the materials, I don't see any underlayment. So we're figuring the roof structure is good.
Yeah. Oh, yes. The architect, Maddie's been through all of that in engineering. So I mean,
Say hi.
yeah. I got to meet with Andrew. It was like old times. The only thing is unforeseen, and which is in the contract, that could cause a change order if there is large amounts of dry rot that they can't see until they really get in there. But that has been taken into account with the contract.
Okay.
Oh, good. That's smart.
Okay, any other questions from the team? You got your questions good? No emails to ask us about these fine materials?
Nope.
All right then. Do I have a motion to approve the materials contract?
I move.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, Board.
Okay. Thank you. Last action item is to consider approval of the MOU with the Bay School.
So I have brought this up at a few board meetings. We've been working in conjunction with the Bay School. We've now started and we've got everybody on their legal side, everybody on our legal side, everybody's agreed. The contract and the MOU looks great. This is just until June 30th, and then we'll do a new contract on July 1st. The Bay School really does run year round. So it's not just through the end of next week. We go through June 30th with them. The menu, I don't think I attached the menu. Or is it? Okay, yeah.
Spend some time.
I can't say enough wonderful things about our new CNS supervisor. She had some big shoes to fill, and she's really working hard to offer things like this and offer other items. I was lucky enough to be in the New Brighton pack for the 5th graders when they came and got lunch. And I was a line monitor. Yeah, that was weird for me. I don't usually direct children around, but we worked on. Brian helped me. We did good. They were so like dazed and confused about like the choice. Like we get a choice, we had to choose. So they overwhelmingly sold out of the orange chicken and brown rice. Yes,
yes. But I also heard that the pizza as a backup was delicious.
Yeah. So Amanda's been working really hard. This is really nice in the sense also to being able to partner with the district, and in full transparency, the director of the Bay School is a parent at New Brighton. And through that connection, she reached out to the district and myself and so to see if we could do anything and partner together. And it really was a wonderful opportunity in the sense of it's only 15 students. So it's a very small start for us to be able to see if this is even possible long-term. And Amanda and she's fully staffed right now. And we have a couple of children that are vegetarian, a vegan, and vegan gluten-free. Long night. So she's had to be super creative with her menu offerings for the special diets for these kids. And so, which is really wonderful because she's been able to take that and start to incorporate that in our offerings.
Right.
So yes. And just kind of as a small side note, I have heard anecdotally that the New Brighton staff is quite happy with the adult meals being offered. Southwest chicken salad. I'm just saying, if you're on campus, that's a good choice on Tuesday.
Wow. Bring back Salisbury steak.
Yeah.
So I had Mayor Capitola have lunch with me at New Brighton a while ago.
Oh.
And I haven't invited him back.
Oh,
I
think you need to come back on Pop Sticker Day, because my understanding that is the biggest day of the week. So anyways, long way of saying, if the board could approve the MOU, we just are really looking forward to this partnership with the Bay School.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's revenue.
Questions?
Yeah.
I know we've been interjecting our.
I'm sorry, just one thing, it was brought to my attention, I forgot to mention, it does say a financial impact of $8,400. That is an error. There is no financial impact negatively. There is a financial impact positively. Yes. We just don't know what that is yet. So it's undetermined at this time.
Okay. Great. Any questions?
Yay,
yay for feeding kids. We good? All right.
Yeah.
Audience, good. Anything on email?
We do.
Okay.
Oh, this is from Laura Newman, agenda item 9C. Thank you, SUESD, for a partnership with the Bay School, and the meal program is off to a great start.
Oh, thank you, Laura. All right. With that, do I have a motion to approve this MOU?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Robert. Second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Ted.
Did you want a second?
I'll second.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
thank
Callie.
you.
I was looking down. All right, Callie got the second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No.
Thank you
very
much.
So I just want to tell you, we talked, I saw the menu, and we do pizzas and stuff, and we got some funding. So full disclosure, Scott, I actually been on the web looking at pizza ovens. I know that's not my job, but I'm just confessing.
All right.
Well, I can say just really quick that Amanda has taken that into consideration. And she's looking at doing some taste testing with the kids at New Brighton, and offering them some scratch pizza.
What is this?
Yeah. And seeing if that might be a little more enticing than Domino's necessarily. Maybe only offering it a couple days a week instead of 5 days a week, but making the scratch pizza instead. So that's definitely something she's been really excited about. And a pizza oven is definitely not off the table with our grant funding.
Continuous belt.
Yeah.
This is probably like way off base, but do we have like any sort of like a cooking class that we could incorporate into this and, or maybe the advent of something like that? I think it's a great idea. And I know my kids are interested in being chefs and cooking. And is that something that we might be able to look at and incorporating into our lunches and this program that we're doing for the Bay School?
Yeah, yes, I think I can talk to Amanda. That's something she's very interested in. Bringing back barbecue days and, you know, field day events and things like that, and incorporating with the kids as much as possible. She loves kid feedback. So, yeah.
Awesome.
One thing that we can tell you is that the LCAP student survey will tell us what the kids want to learn.
I love that we bring that full circle.
So it's funny you bring it up because you remember in our discussion about the wood shop, the wellness strand
Yeah.
kind of drifted in there
Yeah.
about and having nutrition.
Yeah. Oh, and I was also thinking your whole thing of like a trade, you
Right.
know, I mean, it's great
Oh,
to,
yeah,
have this, have the kids not only leave with an education, but some sort of life skills as well leaving.
Yeah.
So.
And cooking is a definite life skill.
Indeed. For some. Others, it's a lifelong challenge.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes. Number 10, correspondence. Anyone have any correspondence to report? I know we got some correspondence that was read during our public comment. Future agenda items. Anyone need to request anything right now? You know.
I'd like to.
Yeah. Well, so our next
Yeah, the sound went out, but I'm good.
Yes, okay, we are.